Welcome back. Well, as promised, the mayor is joining us this morning to talk about all things happening in Shreveport. So definitely want to welcome him back again for another week. Good morning.
It's great to be here.
Yes, of course. Let's go ahead and give us a quick rundown. A lot of talks about the data center that, of course, the Metropolitan Planning Commission did not back this last week. So talk to us a little bit about, just some clarification, because after community members were concerned about that, you did talk about kind of just like, doing away with the Planning Commission. A lot of people are concerned about that as well. Why is this decision, just now coming about? And if it has already, when were you thinking about it?
Well, first of all, I'm never wanted to do away with the Metropolitan Planning Commission, but it currently operates as an independent agency, but it only deals with the city of Shreveport. So we have been considering moving it in as a city department.
Yeah.
There would likely still be a commission that would make recommendations to the city council, but the staff would become city employees instead of being employed by an independent agency. It just doesn't make that much sense. This really hastened my plan to do that. There's a good bit of support among the council members, I believe, and also members of the community who really believe it should be something. Because it only deals with city issues, it should be a city department.
So these individuals would not necessarily be using their jobs. They would just become city employees, or
Correct.
would they have to reapply? How would that process go?
No, the staff members of the MPC, they actually have beefed up their staff, and they have a very good staff. The staff recommended passage of the data center.
Okay.
It was the MPC board itself that failed to pass it along.
Okay, now staying on that subject, besides jobs, what are the benefits of these data centers? Because we already have one here. Talk about, what else are going to help our people. How is this helping our people? I
think the most important thing to realize is that the vast majority of jobs that are created by data centers are created in the 5 to 10 years to gear them up and construct them. So you have construction jobs. If you look over at what's happening in Richland Parish with the Meta thing there, with the Meta data center, there are huge numbers of jobs, people occupying hotels, occupying apartments, buying food, tremendous increase in sales tax, which we can anticipate here. The main concerns that have been raised, from my experience in listening to people who are opposed to the data center, most of them are not opposed to this data center, they're opposed to any data center.
Okay, gotcha.
And so these are data centers that are going to be built. This one will comply with all the noise requirements. There's no direct evidence of any kind of cancer or miscarriages. I've done that research, and that simply is a scare tactic, I believe, with respect to these. And I think that the construction will be a huge boom for the city, and then there'll be 150 to 200 permanent jobs, very high-paid jobs that will come into the city of Shreveport.
Okay, now we do also have news, according to the Shreveport Advocate, that we have a proposed $50 million incentive package for 50 Cent. I understand in recent times, and we've discussed this, we've talked about meeting him halfway. How do you guys assure that he, keeps up his end of the bargain when meeting him halfway in that type of direction?
That will be the way that is. It's not a simple nonprofit. It's an economic development corporation that will be receiving funds from the state.
Okay.
And that has not yet been announced, although I expect that will be announced in the short term, and we'll have a lot more details about that sometime within the next 30 days.
Okay, it's time to quickly get down to our question of the day before we go, Mayor, and a lot of people are wanting to hear about the Gateway Economic Development District as well. Your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. How about that?
Okay, well, let's talk about the city budget there, with the 2026 city budget that you guys just approved.
That's $331 million. It's balanced. We maintained our 8% operating reserve, and still were able to find funds for 5% raises for fire and police and 3% for most city employees.
Okay, then. Well, we'll have more details about everything that we discussed today up on our website. And of course, next week, the mayor will join us again and we'll dive a little bit deeper in. So if you're wanting to recap that, go to our website, ktalnews.com. Stay with us.